piss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump from the deep end of the pool, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
Testicles, 1, 2. Testicles. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Paranoi Radio Podcast. I am Trebles Garcia, the humble host of this amazing adventure. Woo! Dude, we have an amazing episode lined up. You're gonna, this is the one, bro. Yo, check this out, guys. Before anything, I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today. And I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Do not forget that the most important thing that you could do for the show is word of mouth. Check us out at ParanoiRadio.com. Check up, cough up some of the t-shirts. But the most important thing is word of mouth. Spread the word about the show, guys. We need people visualizing us. Check this shit out. We just opened up Rumble. It's dropping bombs daily today. We're dropping daily video, unedited episodes on Rumble now. Check us out, guys. It's growing. Be part of the movement. And do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Please allow me to jump in from deep into the pool and set the mood. I am bringing the one and only, the dude with the freaking brows, with the chin, with the chiseled face, with the handsome stuff, with the muscles, and the most important thing, the most incredible life story. JB from Renegade Family of Light. What's up, bro?
Here we are, man. Grand finale.
The grand finale, dude. Hey, bro.
This is gonna deliver too, man.
This is awesome. Last one, 11. People liked 11. They were troubled with it. People really liked it. Shout outs to Rico. And I always go to Rico because Rico's the first one to hit me up. Within 30 minutes, that shit drops. He's like, yo, I am addicted to this shit. I don't like it. I don't believe it. But I'm addicted to it. So I was like, yo, I got coworkers. I got people letting me know like this is right. We shouted you out. As a matter of fact, bro, I already recorded episode 300. Shout out to all the guys that were involved. But Chef from Sunday Night Secret Society's podcast hit me up. And at the end of the show, which you can go see on Rumble now, episode 300's already been out on Rumble, guys. It was a live episode on Rumble. You were dropped at the end, and not even by me. By other people. They were like, yo, wow. And if you like the documentary stuff, you gotta check out the Warrior series. So everybody, people are into it, bro. People are into, especially other podcasters, which is awesome. It means the world to me, bro.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too, because I'm sharing it, and I'm putting myself in vulnerable positions, so I'm hoping somebody connects and gets something of value out of it, whether it's entertainment or maybe they could just say, hey, you know what, I can get through these tough times too, and blah blah blah. But I know this particular one, this finale, how grand finales can sometimes disappoint. This will not disappoint, and I know that there's going to be some people out there that there's going to be somebody identifying with this one because I'm going to reveal some vulnerable shit. So let's get rolling.
Warrior 12.
Warrior 12. Where can people find you? Yeah. Renegade Family of Light, Instagram. Come check it out.
That's right. All right,
so
bro.
Now
we left off on a cliffhanger. You were holding on to a bag of money, digital money, to your girl after she stabbed the shit out of you. Crazy story. That was my favorite episode, bro. Can't wait for what you got next.
Yeah, I know. I beat the shit out of her and she stabbed me. So it was kind of like we both had it coming. If you haven't heard it, go check out 11. Here we are now. So the Bitcoin drops and all the money evaporates. She stands by me. And then a couple of things took place that started to change things and begin the downward spiral of the abyss that started to take place and slowly just spin over time. I decided to get off the juice for good because it was getting too extreme with the roller coaster ride of the ups and downs, and it was getting harder and harder for me to recover from it. And I was getting nervous and concerned that I'm going to be affecting my health. So I got off it for good. And now the months are going by and nothing is coming back as far as my testosterone, and I can't get anything going. And I just want to get back to normal, but it never comes back. And now the pressure of performing is starting to become heavier and heavier, where I'm taking Viagra, nothing's happening. My girl is trying her best to support me. Nothing's happening. It's like the mental game is like, you have no idea. And I know there's people out there that go through this and nobody talks about it because it's like, it's the hidden secret. And you can't talk about it because you're saying, what are you saying? I'm not a man. So everybody brags about how they're, how badass they are. I'm keeping it to myself. She's hanging in there. I go to doctors. They prescribe Cialis. Doesn't work. I'm bugging out, dude. I'm like frantically trying to find a solution to this. And the months are going by, dude. And all I can think about all day long is how am I going to face another night without taking care of my girl? Like the mental pressure that was just overriding all the pills. It was just like that. The mental game was overtaking the drugs at that point. I get to the point where I would try and distract her with like shows and make her laugh, watch TV, because like we're not even trying anymore. Like we're just going to bed and we're not even trying. We're like roommates, like without the friend, without the benefits. Like she's hanging in there. But, yeah, dude, I'm going like, this is what I come home to. This is what I'm living with every day. It's on my mind 24/7. And I just know, because I know there's no woman out there that will, no matter how much she loves you, like if you can't like satisfy, fulfill her and be the man, she's going to freaking move on. And she's, because that's how they're wired. Like they're wired to mate with a man that can procreate and that's strong and that's going to produce a strong litter of kids that they pass their genes on. So they're just wired to seek out the strong male. And when you show that you can't perform, you're not a strong male. You're not a man. I wasn't a man. Like in other words, like I was not a man anymore. And I had to literally walk around with this on my shoulders, unbearable. It was the hardest thing like I was going through. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Because you can't, like I said, you can't tell anybody, you can't talk about it. I was ashamed and I was losing her. And I knew I was losing her. And she loved me, and she kept sticking it out. But I was like, if I don't fix this, it's going to end that way. And she even said, she's like, listen, like I'm hanging in there, but you got to do something because like eventually I'm going to like start to wonder. And I was like, I know. What did I do? I basically dove myself into poker because that was the only piece that I had. It was like the escape. So I just poured myself into that. And the idea that once I make it big and I win that big title, we're going to be set for life and we're going to put all this behind us.
You took
and
us
that's how I just
poker. Oh my God.
Well, I never left poker. I just poured into it. Like I just like in other words, I just amped it up. Like I just went full tilt because that was the only thing that I could get any satisfaction at, any kind of reward out of. But now I start losing. It's called
crap, dude.
Yeah, dude. Like now I start losing, and it's a downswing. That's what it's called. Every professional goes through it. It's like the cards just don't go your way, no matter what you do right. It's just a constantly getting unlucky in the most like crucial, biggest hands that affect everything, and you start losing confidence, and it's mentally, you start trying too hard. It really it fucks your head up like royally, and you just got to pull through it, and it could last for a long time. And this was going on now. It went on for a year. So I'm going on months and months long, these losing streaks, coming home beat up, losing, and not being able to perform. It's not like there's anything I could say, hey, babe, look what's this. No,
you can't court your way out of that. You can't. You are failing. Yeah, dude. Holy fuck, dog.
Yeah, and I'm playing my best. Like I'm playing the best I've ever played, but I'm still losing. So it's just falling apart. And now I'm desperate. And now I'm going on like a mission to turn it around. So I just go even harder in poker. And I'm going on trips and I'm coming home a loser. And I'm depressed. And like I'm just like, how do you walk in the door and just pick your head up? So finally, my girl, she gives me a final ultimatum. She's like, either it's poker or it's us. She's like, she's done with being pushed to the bottom of the list, and you got to make a decision, but it's not going to be both.
You went in hard because you're losing her because of the physical situation, and then you put her back to the bottom because you had to go to the poker stuff, right?
100%.
And then,
like,
holy fuck, bro. Yeah.
Like, she's being patient. She's hanging in there. But now I'm just completely just avoiding her. I'm like leaving her home alone, going on trips on the weekends. Like she has to go out like by herself and just, she's always by herself. So like, what am I doing? And she's like, at least spend some time with me. you know. But I think the fact that I was so ashamed and it was so overbearing to carry this weight that I just avoided subconsciously. I think I just avoided looking at having her look at me and see me. So I just chose this distraction to kind of not be seen. I think subconsciously, like, and I think that was part of it, because I literally would just like, how I couldn't even like face her.
No.
I never told nobody about this. Like, this first time.
This is very intimate. A lot of men don't ever get out of that hole, bro. It gets you down to a point where, fuck, if you tell me right now you went back to drugs, I'm gonna fucking shoot my leg off. Like, it's, see what I'm saying? Like, it's only like, fuck, dog. You start hitting the bottom of the barrel, bro.
I mean, but you wouldn't, if it happened, like, if I started drinking, or if I, would you even like kind of blame you could see how it could lead.
Oh, no, yeah. No, you're in
drinking
there.
Or taking pills or whatever it is that happens to people to escape. Those things are what's the only remedy you have to numb the pain, because it's painful. Yeah. I mean, it's painful in every way. And I mean, for a man to walk around and just not be a man, especially after being such a real man, an alpha man, like a man's man, a leader. And now it's like you're hollow. You're hollow. Like, like I was a man and now I'm not. Dude, a lot of men out there that are secretly going through this, because to go through research, all the stuff that they're putting in our food, the water and the chemicals, they're intentionally weakening the male's testosterone levels. So now millions of men are suffering from this performance issue where their testosterone is low. Guys in their 20s are suffering from this. Yeah. Guys in their 30s, guys in their 40s. I mean, 50s, whatever it is, like, it's an epidemic that's affecting a lot of males, and everybody thinks they're the only one. Like, they think they're alone in this because they can't talk about it with anybody. No man could express this with his friends or anybody, because he'll get laughed at. And then the guys that laugh at him, they're probably dealing with it too. But everybody's just taking the dick pills just to coat it. But it's an issue, and it's coming from what they're doing to us.
I gotta amplify what you're saying. Now you got these mini pills like Blue Chew and all these little pills that you could get off the counter to really pick you up, and then it becomes normal for a young 18, 19-year-old, or 20-year-old to be carrying this shit in their pocket right before they smash on a girl. And then I come from an era where they didn't tell you have to drink 5, 6, 8 gallons of water a day to stay hydrated. So it makes me think, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm thinking, like, what's in the water? What do you want me to drink so much water for? Right? See what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense.
They've been doing it to us because they want to weaken the male to begin with. So that's why you're getting all these transgenders. Like, they don't want a strong alpha male society that could defend the country, that could defend the family. They want a weak male society. So by weakening us, they're hitting us and reproductive. They don't want us reproducing. You know how they get population. That's the one. Depopulation agenda. So they're trying to do that, and they're doing it to the women too, like by making them infertile and all that other shit. Yeah. But so this is the effect, and I'm an example of it. And I know people listening to this. There's going to be some people out there that are going through this. So that's why I'm talking about it, because you're not alone. It's not your fault, and it has nothing to do with you being good, or it's been done to us. And then the mind game makes it even worse. So I mean, I got a strong mind, so it's like my mind could override. It goes against me, it could really go against me. So this is what happened. And when I'm going through, but I tell her, I'm like, I can't walk away from the dream. It's all I know. I don't have anything else to fall back on. I have to make it in poker, because I can't just walk away and give up. It's like, I not only will I not be a man, but I just won't be anything. Like, you might as well just kill me. And I was like, I just can't do it. I won't do it. So the decision was made. And I guess by default, I didn't make the choice, but by choosing not to give it up, I was choosing poker, and she was done with it. And the fact that I was not even able to take care of her was like, made it even easier. And I was almost even easier for me to just say, all right, go, because I can't hang on to this anymore. I almost was like, just kind of let it go, push it away anyway, because I don't want to deal with it anymore. So I would rather just like move on like that. But of course I don't want to lose her, and I know she loves me. But at this point, she had already met somebody, and by this time, and I wasn't even mad at her.
Oh God, bro.
I mean, like, what was I gonna do? Like, she had been going out more and more by herself with her friends and coming home late, and and I knew. Yeah,
it's only a matter of time.
Like, listen, she's a gorgeous girl, so like, I know when she loves me and everything's great, she's gonna be 100% spot on. Like, nobody's gonna be able to get her attention. But like at this point, this guy's that throw themselves at her everywhere she goes. How long are you gonna take to keep pushing those away before you're like, you know what? I'm frustrated and I'm fed up and I'm gonna give this person a try. So I wasn't even mad at her, dude. Like I was just like, I get it.
Fucking JB, that's painful, dog. That is
painful. Dude. Well, I already knew about this, and I didn't even confront her about it. I wasn't like, who the fuck you saying? I just kept my mouth shut, but I knew, and she had
told
her back
you.
up. She didn't tell me. I just knew. Like, in other words, she was coming home and like later and later, and I wasn't going to accuse her of it. And we were now we're sleeping in separate bedrooms, and I start looking for a place to move out. And then some nights she don't even come home. So like, I never mentioned it, but it was just like the unspoken thing. Like, yeah, well, I know what's going on. So we just coexisted until I moved out. I accepted the defeat and I took all the blame and I found a place. And the day that I actually moved out, like I got my stuff out, like her boyfriend had moved in the same day. Like I came back to get my dog and I see this new car in the driveway and I'm just like, really? I'm like, already? I'm like, I just fucking, like the door hasn't even shut yet. And her daughter, who was basically like my daughter, like after I raised her, she's shocked. Like she comes to running to the door and she just kind of has this look on her face, like she's just like totally shocked. And she hands me the dog and she's like, don't go inside. And I was like, I know what's going on. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And she like hugs me and she was crying. It broke my heart because to think to myself,
that's
like,
breaking my heart, man. I want to fucking cry for you, bro. Fuck, dude.
But I'm like,
damn.
Well, the thing is, it's like, why do that to the kid? Like, you don't want to bring somebody home so quick like that. Like, think of the kid. Like I thought that was really irresponsible on her part to just immediately have a new guy there.
Yeah.
He moved in, literally moved in. And like, here's like your new daddy or something. Like, I'm like, that's just a bad thing to do to the kid. And it fucked the kid up. Like, it just totally messed up her psychology. She resented her mom for it. And she psychologically like went into a dark place and she stayed in her room, didn't come out, she didn't acknowledge anybody. And it went on like this for as long as it did. And it still exists. Not it doesn't exist, but it still kind of carries over till to this day because she's older now, but she hasn't ever been the same since. And she never really had a connection with her mom since. And I feel bad because like her mom did everything for her. Like she's a hard worker and loves her daughter. And she knows she made the mistake. She acknowledges that, and you can't do nothing, you can't go back. But yeah, it was a big one, and I just felt I felt bad about it, and so I left, and now I felt horrible, but I was relieved at the same time. I just went home to this new place, and I just felt a weight lifted off my shoulders. Well, like I didn't have to face the pressure anymore.
Yeah, talking about the high anxiety levels and shit.
Yeah,
it was
dude,
toxic.
I was just like, yes, it sucks. Yes, I hate it, but like I needed this because I needed some relief. I never wanted to be with another woman ever again. I told myself, I was like, I will never let myself be a failure with a woman again. I will never put myself in that position. I was like, I had a great run. I was with a lot of girls and I was great, but now I could die and I will be fine if I'm never in that spot again. That's how affected I was. The only way to do it was just to not be with anyone ever again.
It's a natural thing for defense. Yeah, it happened.
I didn't want to take a chance, being stuck, not being able to perform. Now with somebody new who's expecting, who doesn't even know me, and all of a sudden, no, man, I was not gonna. Sex was in the past for me. It was like, it was one less thing I had to chase, one less thing I had to worry about, and I just avoided it at all costs. Like, how many guys could say that? Like, I avoided sex at all costs. I was alone, had my dog, and I was determined more than ever to finish what I started on this path that I took myself on. So now I had nobody to answer to, pour myself into the game. I went triple time into studying, improving, analyzing. I paid for courses. I got coaching. I learned from the best players, and I just prepared myself for this final stretch run that I was going to be on. I had 4 months to prepare, and the start of the new season of these major events, and it was August, so I had till January, and I was just going to go hardcore. So I just ate, drank, slept, poker, played, studied, practiced, did all that stuff. Got my game to a freaking like a surgical level where I was at the peak, and I was dialed in and I was sharp. and I was ready, and all the sacrifice was going to pay off. So now one day I'm heading out to my best friend's house in Pennsylvania for the weekend trip. Like, he's a doctor with a big house, and he's up in the mountains, and we would get together and do some weekend getaways and stuff. He's somebody who I actually turned on to crystal meth back in the day, and he had just as big of a habit as me when he was studying for the boards, because he used to use it to like study on, and I would send it to him and not even charge him. I would just kind of send it because I was like helping him get through med school. When I got arrested, he no longer had to connect, and he just had to move on to other vices. He's a married guy with kids, and he's a doctor. So I'm driving up there, and he tells me, "Hey, I got a surprise for you waiting for us when you get here." And I'm like, "What is it?" And he tells me he found a new Connect, and he's got the same grade A quality crystal that I used to get. And he used
the
to
loop. I love this.
Ready
this
for the
going
weekend.
back to your full circle. Holy shit, balls! Here we go. Oh,
he's like,
man.
he's ready for the tweekend, and I'm like,
The tweak.
yeah, I'm thinking like, this is the first time anyone has ever mentioned having this to me in 13 years. I'm 13 years clean. I don't want to ruin that, like, and fuck my whole program up. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
So I'm
But
like,
you're in
what
your
the
peak
fuck?
game too.
Well, the thing is, I always wanted to see how good I could play on that shit, because it does freaking make you focus. I mean, that's what Adderall is. I mean, that's what it's made out of. And a lot of poker players are taking Adderall. It's been so long, but I mean, I don't want to like do this, but it would be kind of cool. So now the fear and excitement is happening at the same time, and I finally just say, all right, let's go, let's just do it. Okay, we're gonna have this fucking party anyway.
Holy fuck.
Now I'm like a kid on Christmas, and I can't wait to open the presents.
Yeah.
And his wife, she don't know. So we got to keep it real cool about how we act and so on, staying up late. So we hang out in the man cave all night and pretend like we slept and just keep going. And that's what we did. We hands me a bag as soon as I walk in there, and I go into the bathroom, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do. I'm like shaking. I'm nervous. I'm like trying to crush it up. It's in chunks. I don't even know how to do it, and I'm thinking people are listening. So I just try quietly crush something up and snort.
That's what it sounds. Yeah, that's exactly what the feeling, people. That is the feeling. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
The relapse.
Especially when the relapse. Yeah.
So I relapsed, and it wasn't much of a big impact. Like, he gave me a care package to take home with me, and so I just put it aside for just rare occasions. My body was hurting trying to recover from that weekend. It took like a week or two just to get my bearings. So I let that stay in the stash drawer for like a couple of months until I broke it out to play this tournament one day, and I cut out 2 rails properly, played flawlessly that night, and won. So now that was the mistake, because now I felt like this was my superpower. To get me over the edge, and because it kind of dialed me in. So now I was playing on crystal, and I was like playing really good, and now I could play for hours with no fatigue. I stayed sharp and had an edge, and it was working out. But now I needed my own connect, so I reached out to my old partner from the Bay Area in California, and after years, and I was like, how you been, man? He just got out of freaking jail. He did 5 years, and he was 5 years clean. But he was looking to get some at the exact same time. And I was 13 and back on it and looking to get some. So I needed a connect to send me. So he basically became my connect, and he would send me like large enough amounts, like an ounce that would last me for a year. And I would just buy one. And then that's how it went. There was no selling, and there was no distribution. It was very disciplined. And I was just I would just take just to play on it.
Okay. So you didn't go full on fucking
no,
checks
I wasn't
guy.
full on junkie. No.
Okay.
So, but is that good or is that bad? Because it's like now you're you're self-medicating, and you're doing it under a controlled thing, but you're also medicating. So it was just enough to get the job done. That's what I would allow myself, and I had it sorted and weighed, and everything was precise. But now January arrives, and it was time to go on the tour, and I was ready. I had plans to spend $50K on this tour with the best players, the biggest payouts, and just needed to just hit one of them. And I was short on about $10K, and I took out a $10K loan, a personal loan from the bank, to get the $50K. The tour would go from January to March, with the biggest kickoff starting at Borgata, Atlantic City in January. So I went and proceeded to play outstanding and lose. I lost event after event. I entered. By the time February came, I was down to my last scraps. I had nothing. Nothing went right. Everything went wrong. And now I was making mistakes because I was just second guessing my decisions. I was hesitating. and I'm down to my last bullet, like the last dollar I had in the last event of this whole thing, or it's over. And I enter it with just enough to cover the entry fee, and it's my last shot at glory. And I put it all on the line, and I played my balls off, making all the right moves and stacking up the chips. I had nothing to lose at this point, and I was in the zone, and I was playing fearless, like a master. I finished day one as
that was the mentality you needed to get in yourself. The aggressiveness, like you have nothing to lose.
Your back's got to be your back's got to be against the wall. It's like kind of like how like you and I perform our best when the fire's on and we got to either make it or die kind of thing. That's when the best comes out of you. So that's where I was at, and I finished the day as the chip leader. And the whole thing, I had like over 1 million chips, huge stack. It's not a cash tournament where if you have 1 million chips, you have $1 million in cash. It's just a tournament where at the end, you have to have the most chips, and I had so far on day one, I was the leader. So we come back for day two, and I sit down. I'm the boss of the table. Everybody's looking at me with envy. They're like, wishing they had my stack. And these are all pros. Like these are all like top-notch pros. And so like early on, I get pocket aces. If you know anything about poker, like pocket aces is the best starting hand. And my opponent has a pair of sixes, which is I got him crushed. And I raise, he calls, we see a flop, and it goes to rags. No, nothing scary out there. I bet. He calls, the turn comes, it's another rag card, it's a 6. So now he just made trip 6. I don't know it. He just checks it. I bet. He just smooth calls. So now by the river, I'm like, he's got to have something. So I just check the river, and anybody who knows is going to understand what I'm saying. And I check it to him. And he bets like practically like his whole stack. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm tanking. I'm thinking, I'm like, what is, like, there's nothing out there that really scares. I'm like, unless he just had a reg, like a flop to set. But I got a strong hand, and his stack is not big enough to really cripple me. So I make the call. He shows his hand, and he scoops the pot. And so now after that, like every hand, I just start losing, and before you know it, like the entire stack is gone before the end of the first break, dude. And it's gone. Like
what the fuck, dude?
It's like I was chip leader, and now like in a flash, like not even in our first 15-minute break, I'm gone. Like that was it. My last hand I played, I lost. The chips were gone, and I just picked up myself, got my knapsack over my back, and I just walked away, and that was it. It was like, it was over. Like I was done. I got in my Jeep, and I just drove aimlessly for miles and miles with no destination. I didn't know where I was going. I just drove in like a state of shock. I was just in the state of shock, driving, knowing that it was over. Like it was
you were high.
Over. I wasn't high. I was low, but yeah, I mean, I was on the shit. Yeah, but I was low. As low as it
fucking
gets.
JB, dude.
I mean, it was over, dude. And I'm talking about 13 years or more, like 16 years of just, this is all I ate and drank every day. This was all I knew to think about. And it was over. And like, I lost everything. I lost the love of my life, my family. I was broke. Now I'm in debt. I got to pay this loan back. And I'm 46 years old with nothing to fall back on. Like, I don't have anything to put on a resume. Poker player, ex-convict, drug dealer. Like, what? That's the resume. Like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, I'm 46 now. I'm like, what can I do? Like, where do you start? Like this is what this reality was. Like, I was literally in this place. I was shattered, dude. I was broken. I was at rock bottom like never before. I mean, this was a different place. This was a different rock bottom than I've never experienced before.
Yeah, because you've been in jail. You've tried a lot of rock bottoms, but this one's
a lot of rock bottoms.
Morally,
this was something that I lost. I had nothing, like just nothing, and I was alone, and I was stripped of everything. And this is, in mystic circles, this is what they call the dark night of the soul, where like you die, like you spiritually just die. If you're on a spiritual path, everybody goes through this dark night where everything just is taken from you, and you're just by yourself. So I finally get home, and I sat in my chair, and it felt like days, I felt like I sat in that chair, and I just stared into space. like saying to myself, what am I going to do? What am I going to do now? Like, who's going to hire me? Like, what do I bring to the table? What experience can I offer anyone? Like, I cursed the gods. I screamed, I yelled. I was like, you laughing at me? You think this is funny? Like, I gave it everything I had. You don't want me to do this? What the fuck do you want me to do? You won't let me do this. So what do you want me to do? Tell me what the fuck you want me to do. So I just kept saying that over and over. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then my brain, all of a sudden, like, I just hear this voice say, anything you want to do. You could do anything from this moment on, because you just lost everything. You just poured everything you had into something that is pretty much like an 85% failure rate for poker. But you just did all that, and you put all your time and your effort, and you're sacrificing the work, and you put everything into something that was like you can't control. You can't control the turn of the card. You're playing a luck game like that goes against you. Think about what you could do now if you just decided to focus on something that you could actually control. And if you put the same amount of energy and the same amount of passion into that, and now that you are so accustomed to what it feels like to fail and to lose, nothing's gonna bother you from here on out. Like it'll feel like a mosquito bite. Like you could lose and you won't even like be flinching because you've lost everything. Like you've lost. And then all of a sudden, this is the voice that's telling me this. And then all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, you're right. I'm like, think about it. What if I did do something new and different and it wasn't based on luck? And if I put the same energy into that, I could build something, and if it goes wrong and I get setbacks, I won't even care. It won't bother me because like I don't have anything. I got nothing to, like what do I have to lose? There's nothing to lose. So, and even if I had something to lose, it wouldn't feel like this, it would just be like, all right, you lost like, this a little bit. And most people, they freak out if they lose a little bit. But I would be like, fucking nothing. No,
you've always played for everything or nothing. Yep.
Everything was on the line, and when you lose in that game, you're losing fucking chunks of your worth. I was like, dude, I could be fearless. I have nothing to fear anymore. Like it happened. My biggest fear already happened. And I'm still here. All of a sudden it was like this freaking light went off, and like I was at the bottom of this floor shattered, and all of a sudden I just rose up with like this new shining armor of like just a new beginning kind of thing. And I felt like amazing. Like I literally went from like this bottom place to like feeling unstoppable, fearless, and just like happy in like a turn. And like I guess call it divine intervention or call it something, but like how I can't explain how I could go from that extreme to feeling the complete opposite, and nothing's changed. Like I still don't have anything. Like I'm still alone. I'm still like,
but you have clarity.
But
clarity in your head.
But inside my head, I feel like a champion. I feel like a winner because I'm like, I know now I could do anything I put my hands on. I know I could do it now after going through that and dealing with all that. Nothing could stop me. And it was just like, it was the greatest feeling. It was something I hope everybody could experience. Maybe, maybe not all the bad stuff, but just as far as like going through it and then coming out the other side and being so much stronger. And I would say to myself, I'd be like, yeah, but I still don't have anything. I'm still at rock bottom, but I'm like, why do I feel so amazing right now? And like, I'm like, I need to document this. Like I need to start from now and document the journey from where I'm at rock bottom to the top. And then just find something new to get into. And I would just start looking, and I was going online and I was looking for businesses, and I was looking at Amazon, and I was just trying to see what's out there because all I knew was poker. And then I just said, I'm going to do e-commerce, start Amazon business and eBay business, and start ordering products, selling them. I'm going to learn all this. I buy courses. I'm going to learn. And that's what I did. And then I'm going to start an Instagram page, and I'm going to be an inspiration for people. I'm going to tell my story, and I'm going to show people what it's like to lose and still win. And you know what? I'm going to call it the Fail Academy, because failing is how you win.
Fail Academy.
And that's how the Fail Academy was born. And like, that's what I said. I said, well, you know what? Failure is not the the demon and evil thing that people think it is. Failure is actually, it's what you need to win. Like, it's built on failure. Like, failure is the foundation that success is built on. Like, you fail, you learn, then you get better, and now you become successful. But all that, everything you're standing on is built on failure. And I was like, we got to stop demonizing failure. We got to stop being ashamed of failure. We got to embrace it, learn from it, and use it as the teacher that it's supposed to be. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call it the Fail Academy. Plus, it's an opposite of everybody else. It's like, oh, winner, and you know, the millionaire maker, and everybody's always doing the positive stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to do a reverse and call myself the Fail Academy, and people are going to be like, what's that all about? And then that's how it started. And I would post like the first post, I would just basically say, I'm at rock bottom, and but I had all this like wisdom that was just pouring out of me, where like I was like touched by the spirit, and I would just kind of pour out this like motivational quotes and get people through that, and people started gravitating to it and started really connecting with it, and like saying, yo, I'm so glad I found your page, and I'm so glad that like you're different, you're real, like. And so I was like, all right, I'm onto something here, and like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna just document this journey. So I started getting back into the video stuff, and like, I was rusty, dude. I was like years like out of that scene, and so I had to kind of get comfortable again with the camera, and started filming and documenting, doing daily posts and stuff, and it came back real quick. It was like boom. Once I was off and running, dude, I was loving every minute of it. Poker was a distant memory. I never thought about it ever again. I never had the desire. I haven't played since. I haven't even considered, like, I would think back on my glory days and kind of reminisce in my head, but I never ever wanted to pick up another deck of cards or play another hand ever again. It was just like removed from me. It was taken out of me. Yeah, it was like
divine intervention, bro.
No explanation for it. Like, how do you go from like all of that to flip the switch and now it's gone, and it's just like instant, like a drug. Like, I had no addiction to it no more. It was like nothing. I didn't think about it. I have no explanation for it except for like some kind of divinity. I moved out of New York in December of 2019, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to leave New York and start over, start fresh. I'm going to keep going with this e-com business. And I took a shot. I left. I didn't go back to work. I didn't go back to restaurants. I didn't do anything. I just came to South Carolina, and I said, I'm going to either make it or break it. And I had like $3,000 to my name, and I started buying stuff in yard sales, estate sales, selling it on eBay, and then doing that, and then taking the profits, reloading it in there. And then I started buying pallets and pallets of stuff, had warehouses, freaking shipping. And so now it's a full-time operation. And next, Bitcoin started fucking roaring back. And I had left it in there, didn't touch it, forgot about it. And now all of a sudden it came roaring back. And now I was back on top. It was like, I'm back on top. That's how it went. And then 2020 came, all of a sudden the cabal and the deep state and the election. And now I was pretty much like a influencer, so to speak, and I had a following. Yeah. And then I hooked up with Morph, and then me and Morph hooked up with Paranoi Radio. And so that's how you and I met. And now it was all about exposing the deep state cabal, like trying to freaking stop the New World Order. And that's when, you and I became connected, and we've been ever since. So it all leads back to the Fail Academy and Paranoi Radio.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
And then, wow, and now you're doing the video stuff too. You're doing.
Yeah, well, then what happened was like the video, just by making content, it's like I started getting, my skill set started getting better, and then I started realizing, I could do this full time too. And so I said, let's start Rogue One Media and start a media company, start doing professional videos for people, and went from there. But I started on the phone. Like, I started making videos on an app on the phone, got my skill set back up and running from there, because I never had these kinds of apps when I was in Hollywood. So this was like amazing to me.
This is on you, yeah.
Yeah, and now here we are, like freaking 4 years later. And I'm gonna tell you something else. This is another little kicker. The Bitcoin, I didn't pull out again the second time when it crashed. And so I lost a shitload of that. I made the same mistake twice, but I salvaged like 50 grand of it and used that to start the Rogue One Media business. But I could have pulled out with a lot more, like hundreds of thousands more. And
Fucking JB.
I fucked up again. It's like JB is like he loves to be on top of it. He's never far from the bottom either. So it's kind of like I'm crawling back again. But you know what? Like this is life, and it's been an amazing journey. And like I don't regret any of it. I appreciate all of it and value all of it. And it just made me better, made me stronger. Now I'm like really spiritually like on that path, and it's not really about chasing the material things. It's just about becoming a more evolved person. That's how you know me. You know me as somebody who's like very deeply spiritual. You know, we've had talks about those occurrences too.
Yeah.
Or there's got to be a reason for all this, right? Like to tell the story and help somebody else and have an impact. Or that's what I thought. I figured like at least share it and help other people that might be going through stuff that need to hear this thing.
A one-of-a-kind warrior. Wow. Yo. Oh, no, round of applause, bro.
If anybody, I mean, I don't know if you felt like that was a good kicker, but it was hardcore. Like it was no joke. Like going through that with my girl, like that was the hardest thing I ever went through in my life. I'll take jail. I'll take anything over what I had to deal with that. And to be straight up transparent, I have not been with a girl since. And it's been 5 years, bro. 5 years. I've not been with anybody, and I don't have any intentions of being with anybody. Like I actually hooked up with my girl like maybe a few months after I left. She would come over, and like we actually wound up having, you know, like getting down, having sex, and I was fine because I had this like weight lifted off my shoulder.
Yeah.
The mental game was gone. I had nothing to fear, and I was good. You know, like I was good. But I still can. That brain thing could still go into panic mode, especially if you're with somebody new. If I was with somebody, like it would be on my mind too much that it would affect me. Like by myself, yeah, I'm fine. Like I got no issues by myself.
You're an overthinker, JB. You're an overthinker. You're an extreme overthinker.
It's a tough spot to be in, man. Like I literally, and to say it is like really like, you know, I'm being vulnerable, but like, yeah, dude, like I would rather just jerk off and just freaking like take care of myself than to fail at that. And even though failing was the thing that I was preaching, that's not, I had to learn from that failure. I had to learn the lesson, and the lesson was don't put yourself in that position ever again. Now, if it happens, it'll happen naturally, and it'll work out. I'm just not looking for it. I just don't want a girlfriend. Like I don't want to have to deal with somebody asking me to, you know, where am I doing, how am I spending time with them. I'm just like, I'm happy to not answer those questions. And I'm older now, and women that are older tend to be more difficult than women that are younger. Yeah, it's a tough spot, and I hope if anybody's going through this that they don't feel so alone, and they don't feel like they're the only ones, because I know a lot of people are. Let
me tell you something, bro. First of all, thank you for being so open about your life. Thank you for giving me an amazing ride in these last 12 hours of entertainment, of honesty, and who you are. I think you needed this also. I think you needed to talk about it. You needed people to listen to it.
I wanted to share it.
And I have to tell you right now, bro, you need to make this into a blog, but mostly a book, bro. If you put this into a book, you never know the audience you could reach with this, bro.
I mean, I told the story on the Fail Academy podcast. That was how the whole thing started, was that story. But once I got like 3 episodes in, the pandemic hit and it turned into a political podcast. It went from like motivational, my story, to jump right onto the political because it was like an emergency at the time. So it never went back. So I never got a chance to finish it. So I think I'm going to start over. Like we said, do a YouTube, tell the story again, and just work it from there and see where it goes.
God bless you, bro. And God has a plan for you, bro. He's always had a plan for you. And I bless everything that you touch, bro. Everything you touch will become wealth. And I wish a lot of health for you, bro. And you're gonna do some major shit, bro. And thank you again for being here, dog. I cannot be more grateful. It was an honor for me too. It was definitely a pleasure, and I cannot wait until this episode drops. This is gonna be the one.
12 the finale. So I'll be back for Devo, the Devolution 3.
Devolution's coming in,
and then you know me, I'll always be on the show. I'll always be stopping by and having a sit down with you. But the series was wrapped.
Let them know where they can find you.
Renegade Family of Light on Instagram, and if you want some video work done, editing, promos, events, Rogue One Media. You can work remotely. You can send the footage and I'll cut it up for you. I'm the man.
Thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. It allows
Tell us what you think of the show, man. Give us let us know, man. I want to hear your feedback.
Absolutely.
Peace out.
Peace out. Blow your fucking mind.
Paranoi Radio.